It affects me in a very profound way. My life has been defined by the internment. I was 4 years old when Pearl Harbor was bombed, and of course, too young to understand what that was all about. And I just turned 5 when, well, my parents, there was a lot of commotion in the house. My parents started packing, and the next morning they dressed me, and I was in the living room, and they were dressing my younger brother and baby sister. And I was looking out the living room window when I saw 2 soldiers come marching up our driveway. They had bayonets on their rifle, shining in the sunlight. They stomped up to our front door, banged on the door, and when my father answered, they ordered us out. And we picked up the luggage that we were allowed to carry, and we were put on a truck. And I saw a group of people milling around across the street from our house. I remember that, and when I was a teenager, I asked my father, what was that all about? And he explained that they were vultures, as he put it. They were looters waiting for us to be taken away, and they looted our home once we drove away. That experience is seared in my memory. Although I was a 5-year-old child, I do remember that. And then from there we were taken to Santa Anita Racetrack, the horse stables of Santa Anita Racetrack, and we were told that we were going to sleep in a horse stall. For me, as a child, it was kind of exciting to sleep where the horses sleep. But as an adult, I thought back on how my parents must have felt to leave our 2-bedroom home and to be crowded into a narrow, smelly horse stall. How degraded they must have felt, how humiliating. And that internment experience, as a child, the real time that I spent in the internment camp, for me was actually, to be very honest, a fun experience. You know, because children adjust amazingly to the most unnatural kind of situation. As long as you have 2 parents who love you and establish some kind of stability in the family. I do remember the barbed wire fence that confined us. I remember the sentry towers with the machine guns pointed at us. And I remember when I made the night runs from our barrack to the latrine, searchlights followed me. I remember going with my father to bathe in a mass shower. Those are memories I have, but they were part of the normality, the routine of being confined in those barbed wire camps. I also remember starting school. We were taken to a camp in the swamps of Arkansas, and we learned how to recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I could see the barbed wire fence and the sentry tower right outside my schoolhouse window as I recited the words, "with liberty and justice for all." Those are my childhood memories, memories of an innocent child. But as I grew up and began to understand what it was all about, I started to talk with my father especially, but with other adults, and got a better understanding of what that experience was, how unconstitutional it was. In our system, when you're arrested, you have the right to know why you're being arrested. And then you have the right to know, to challenge those charges in a court of law. And then when you're found guilty of that, you're in prison. In our case, there were no charges, no trial, no due process, which is the pillar of our justice system. Simply because we happened to look like the people who bombed Pearl Harbor, we were incarcerated for the duration of the war. But my father didn't want us to grow up bitter about that experience because he believed in the American democratic system. He told us that both the strength and the weakness of American democracy is in the fact that it's a true people's democracy. And it can be as great as the people can be, but it's also as fallible as people are. And when Pearl Harbor was bombed, the nation was swept up in war hysteria. And politicians picked up on that and began the campaign of get rid of the Japs. We were American citizens. My mother was born in Sacramento. My father was born in Japan, but he came to, his father brought him to San Francisco when he was a boy. And he was raised and educated as a San Franciscan. He felt very American. I was born here in Los Angeles, where my parents met. And so, you know, we're Americans, but it gave me an understanding of how important it is in our kind of democracy, which is dependent on good people being engaged in the process. How important it is for us, as we fancy ourselves good people, to be actively engaged in the political process, to hold democracy's feet to the fire, and not let the hysteria of the times take over. And so the interment experience has shaped my life, and that's why I've been an activist throughout my life. I was involved in the civil rights movement. I marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. I was involved in the campaign to get redress for the unconstitutional incarceration of Japanese Americans. And I'm gay, and I came out in 2005, and I've been active in the struggle to get equality for lesbians, gays, bisexual, and transgender people. It's a part of what it means to be a responsible American citizen. I've been active in political campaigns for politicians as well as for issues. So the interment has shaped who I am.
Thank you.